Hi everyone, this is the very first episode fully in English in the history of Vintera podcast. And you see, it was worth it. As we are welcoming none other than composer extraordinaire Arjen Lucassen, who is, as you may know, the mastermind behind the prog rock opera Ayreon. So, last September, Ayreon was once again brought to the stage in the Netherlands for 6 shows celebrating 30 years of Ayreon. Lots of guests were present, and these shows were entitled An Amazing Flight Through Time. Now, just so you understand, it's always a big event for the fans since it only happens at best once every 2 years and for a handful of shows only. A Blu-ray is coming out on the 22nd of May 2026, so that's mainly what we wanted to talk about in this episode, whether it's the setlist, the visuals, the singers, and everything related to it. We also discussed, among other things, his new solo album, Songs No One Will Hear. Yep, that's the name of the album. And a bit about the upcoming Ayreon release. Before we start, when we recorded this episode, we still didn't know the release date, which is why at one point of the interview, I'm asking Arjen if he has a release date to give us, right? Now, all that needs to be said now is welcome aboard, take a seat, and dim the light. Enjoy this episode with Arjen Lucassen. Let's go. Hello.
There you are.
Oh, so nice to talk to you. How are you today?
I'm fine. I've been working in the garden really hard, cutting down trees and shit. So,
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna move. We're gonna sell the house. So it has to look a bit good, you know. And then the garden
ah.
is a mess, so I had to work there.
Oh, you've been living there for many years now.
7 or 8 years. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It has a lot of charisma because we see the background in the videos, and it's really nice.
Yeah, it's like an old school,
Yeah.
built 100 years ago, and got all big rooms. That's cool, you know. But I want a little bit more nature, and this is like a
Ah.
lot of fields, but it's all farmland, you know.
Yeah.
So going somewhere where there's lots of nature,
Lots of forests and stuff.
forest and a lake and
Okay, good.
stuff like that. So yeah, good.
Okay. So last year in September, Ayreon performed live as a celebration for the 30th anniversary of the project.
Hmm.
The shows were called An Amazing Flight Through Time, and so you went through 30 years of career. I was lucky enough to attend 2 out of the 6 shows.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
shows did you go?
So I went to Saturday evening and Sunday matinee.
Okay, good.
I heard that Friday was technical issues and stuff.
Friday was not
But
good. It's weird. The dress rehearsal was great.
mm-hmm.
It was like the first time we played, you know, and everything went well. And we thought everything is going to go wrong. We're going to have to stop all the time. It went perfect. And then I think we were like a bit too sure of ourselves.
Ah.
Everyone was like, oh, no problem. And then Friday came and then we fucked up a couple of times. So sorry about that.
Okay. But I guess Sunday was good for the DVD recording.
The evening was perfect,
Yeah.
and the audience was great, and so we only we filmed both shows on Sunday, but we only used the second one.
Oh, really?
Last time there were some mistakes in the second one, so we had to take some songs at the first, but now we took the whole second show.
Ah, great. It must have been good for the editing, less complication maybe.
Right. Well, some pauses were a bit long, I thought, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Because then the screen goes black and the clapping is over and then it's quiet. You know, you don't want that. So we had to make some cuts here and there,
Ah, okay.
but it all worked out perfectly. We didn't have to redo shit, so that's good.
Okay. When you started working on these shows with Joost, what was the mindset? How did you prepare? Since you had so much done already for the previous shows, you had done a lot
Right,
of great creative things.
right.
How is it now to find new things to do?
Well, we had the 01 shows was so huge. You know, the credo was more is more. and it was more is more. You know, the whole stage was built. There was a big scaffold and 3 floors, and Joost was like all the way in the corner, very sad, all on his own. You know, and there was a screen behind, and there was all so huge and big that and lasers and explosions, and so, that we were like, let's not do that again. You know, because we can't do it bigger. So let's not do that again. Let's concentrate on the visuals this time. You know, we had a huge LED screen, the best LED screen we had so far, like a really great quality too.
Yeah.
And they were also spread over the sides, so not just behind the band, but also on the sides.
Yeah, really immersive. Yeah.
Right, yeah. We wanted to, yeah, and there were like lights going into the venue, and yeah, immersive is the right word. You know, we wanted the audience to be part of it. So this time I chose to like build it up very slowly. So the first half was songs that we never played before.
Yeah.
And they were like quiet songs, you know, starting with House on Mars is crazy. But I thought, you know, with 01, the first song you only had 7 singers on stage, and there was like too much information, I think. That this time I wanted like to people like, okay, it starts. Okay, what's happening? Oh, beautiful screen. Ah, beautiful visuals. Oh, the first singer comes on. You know, not 10 singers at the same time, but I wanted one singer per song to make his entrance, you know, or her entrance. So yeah, it was scary to build it up, you know, and to play songs that we never played before, because there's a reason, you know, we never played them before, because they're not the crowd pleasers. They're not the usual headbangers or whatever, you know. So that was a bit scary, but I think the second show was all the favorite songs. I think that worked, you know. The first half, you know, people had to get used to everything, and then it built up and up and up and up, and in the end you get the big climax. So I think it worked. Of course, afterwards you hear people saying, "Oh, the first half was boring or whatever," but I think our idea worked.
It's the other way around for me. I really, really loved the first half. I was like,
Oh,
it's
cool.
unbelievable because these were the songs that I would never have thought you would add
Oh,
to the set
great,
list. And
great.
these are amongst my favorites, like Dragon and the Sea. I was like, unbelievable, unbelievable, out loud in the crowd. It was crazy.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I wanted to give Marcela and Irene a
Oh,
chance, you
yeah,
know, to
yeah, yeah,
shine.
yeah.
Of course, the original doesn't have drums, so we rebuilt the whole song. We put it with drums and made it a bit heavier. And I'm glad you liked it. Good.
All the songs really of the first half, it's my favorite part of the show. And for the second show I did, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna cry because I know it's going to happen. So
Okay. I totally agree with you. The first half for me too was much more exciting. Maybe because it's the first time we played them, you know, because Black Hole, I did it so many times, you know, and I really feel sorry for bands like AC/DC or Iron Maiden, you know, that are touring for 40 years with the same songs.
oh yeah.
Like, oh, I could not do that, really. I did it for 15 years, you know, with Vengeance and Bodine. And really, I felt like an actor on stage, you know. It was like, okay, this is the 400th time I play this song, and then I make this joke, and then I make this move, and
Yeah.
and I don't know. I felt like it wasn't genuine, you know. So that's basically one of the many reasons why I stopped touring, stopped playing. So yeah, it's the same with the Ayreon shows. You know, we did Black Hole now a couple of times already in the previous shows. You can't change the song too much. You know, you can't do a new version. So yeah, I try to put different singers in. You know,
Yeah.
we had Tommy sing it. Now we had Damien sing it. So, but yeah, I love the first half too.
So the choice to start, like you said, slowly was really a reaction to how big 01 shows were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally, totally. I was speaking to people afterwards who didn't know Arion, and that's interesting for me, you know, because you get a totally different opinion or a totally different view. And they said it was too much, you know. I said, which singer did you like? Yeah, I saw so many singers, and they all came on the stage at the same time, and I was like watching explosions or watching lasers, and there were five singers, and it was just too much. If you know them, like Damien,
Mm-mm.
Anneke,
Sure.
but if you don't know them, it's a lot of information. So.
So when you started the production for these shows, did you think maybe there are going to be people not knowing Ayreon and I want them to enjoy the show anyway?
No, not really.
It's
They're
fan service.
yeah. I didn't think about that. I want to make a combination of pleasing myself and pleasing the fans. It has to be a combination.
Mm.
If I just want to please the fans, then you get every show with Castle and Loser and Everybody Dies and Valley of the Queens, and I don't want that either.
Mm.
I want to challenge them a little bit. For instance, by starting with House on Mars, and what are you gonna do? It gets harder and harder.
Yeah,
I mean, the first one, the Ariel, well, the first one was basically the theater
yeah.
equation. That was obviously a human equation, but then we did Arion Universe, and it was all new. It was all the first time we did it, and great, everyone loved it. And then it's like, okay, let's do albums. Electric Castle and Zero One, and now it was 30 years of Arion, so you picked songs out of 30 years.
Hmm.
But it gets harder. What are you going to do next? Also, singers. I people sometimes say, yeah, well, it were all the familiar singers and not many new singers. But if I do a show and there's no Damien or there's no Anneke or
Mm.
there's no Mike,
We're going to complain.
you're going to complain. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I thought let's get like one or two new ones. Of course, it was very exciting for me to get Dino.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the best singer in the world, and he doesn't do this very often. He told me I only do it for you.
Yeah, because he participated in the Star One album the year of 41, but
Yeah.
in the end, the song was not included in the album for many reasons. But all things ended well because you've been able to release his version eventually. So it was great that after the song was released on the internet, that he was able to perform live.
Well, it was his idea basically. I was like, hey, we gotta do year 41 live. Yeah, but it's 30 years of Arion. It's a Star One song. Should we really do that? Maybe not many people know it. And you weren't the original singer. Jolene Turner sang it,
Mm-mm.
and he was like, okay, I'll record a video of me singing it, and then there is a link to the show. So that was his idea. A very good idea, of course.
Oh, so you plan to include him in the shows, but not necessarily perform the song?
No,
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
basically I wanted him to be the power. I always had like a power singer.
Yeah.
Of course I had like Russell, who's the power singer, and I had JC a couple of times as the power singer. And yeah, what better, than to get the best in the world.
Yeah.
He's like a star. He's a rock star. He
Yeah.
stands there with his mic, and it's just cool to see. It's cool to have a guy like that there. And then you have a clown like Mike, and you have all the extremes, and I like that.
And actually, the vocals of Mike at the end of this song, the year 41, it's pretty amazing also because they are like getting higher and higher and higher.
I know, and Dino was like, "Do I really have to do that live?" I said, "Yeah. Well, the girls can do it. I said, "Well, maybe you can do it together with Mike. And he was like, "Okay. I'll do the second half because it's really high, for a male singer."
Was he worried he wouldn't pull it off?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course, yeah.
but he's so great.
I know, but it's not many singers, not many. Dio could not do that high voice.
Hmm.
Even though Dio was the best singer in the world, he did not have that high falsetto because that's heavy on the voice.
Yeah.
So, but he did it, as you heard.
Yeah, great moment. Great highlight
Yeah,
of the show for me.
yeah, for me too. Yeah,
And Dawn of a Million Souls. Oh my god.
yeah,
That was a great one by Dino actually. I My favorite version is by Russell, and then he comes and he sings it like let's say similarly good.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
just great.
Russell is the best. I
Yeah.
mean, holy shit, when I hear that version, the first time, because I didn't record him myself. I usually record him myself, get him to my studio, but he couldn't come. So he recorded it in the studio of the guitar player, Michael Romeo. And he played it to me on the phone, actually. He said, "What do you think of this?" And he played it, and I was just crying and crying. I did not expect that, you know. And he was like, "What do you think of it?" And I couldn't talk. I was like, and he said, "You hate it? Yeah. Why are you not saying anything?" No, that version will never be beat.
Also, several people noticed that there was no Transitus song in the set list, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that because it was quite surprising in the sense that we thought every album would be represented in the set list.
Mhm.
So, 01 wasn't represented, but you did do the show
Right, yeah,
2 years prior, the full
yeah.
album, so it wasn't really necessary maybe to add one. But what about Transitus?
Well, I wanted to play Get Out, but Joost thought it would have been too long,
Okay.
and it would have been hard. Which other song are you going to cut? And also, Simona was going to be there, but she had to tour with Epica.
Mm-hmm.
So we also planned maybe to play this human equation again with Simona, or we had Simona and Tommy, so we could have done
Mm.
a song with them both together. But yeah, in the end, she couldn't make it. Only a few months before we heard she couldn't make it.
Okay.
So yeah, no Transito song. And then after that, after we couldn't do the song with Simone, it was like let's do Get Out, and but who's gonna sing it? And in the end, we decided not to do it. So yeah, shame, no
Mm-hmm.
Transitus.
I had this crazy theory that you didn't do any song because it was going to be the next album on stage, and it was
Oh,
like an Easter egg or something.
yeah. No way,
Ah,
no,
okay.
because it's not a very popular album. It's the least popular album with the fans, Transitus. Basically, I think the reason for that is that it wasn't planned to be an Arion album because I wanted to make a movie, which which was a silly idea because it would cost millions, and there's no way I could have done that. And then I went to the record company. Well, I've got this album, it's
Mm.
very much like Arion, but it's not Arion. And they was like, let's just release it as Arion, and maybe we should not have done that because I love the album. I like the
Mm-hmm.
album, and it works with the comic book, and it would have worked much better as the film, but maybe it didn't work as an Arion album.
And as a stage theater show, no?
Well, if the album doesn't do well, then it's a bit scary to do a show based on that album.
Okay,
So,
that's too bad.
but if I would do like you say, like a stage production,
Mm.
I think Theory of Everything would be
Ah,
cooler.
yeah. This is my favorite Aaron album, and this is probably one of my favorite all-time favorite albums.
Oh, cool, cool. I think that you would have to do it as a stage play,
Mm-hmm.
you know. It was hard to pick songs of Theory of Everything because you pull a song out of its context, and it was hard to do that.
Yeah, thank you for doing that because again, I wasn't expecting just a bit of this album being performed.
Yeah,
Once again, I was like, "What?" So it was
yeah,
great.
yeah. It was Mike really wanted to do the parting because there he
Mm-hmm.
has his moment, of
Yes,
the really high voice, and he was like, let's do that one. And I was like, okay, okay.
and you could tell that at the end of the weekend, he was like a little bit tired just because of this high, very high voice.
I know,
Because he
I
can do
know.
anything and he can do it all the time, I guess. But at the end of 6 shows doing that, it was like,
I know, I know. And during the rehearsals, he didn't do it
ah,
because he's from Australia, of course. So he came over early. So he was the only singer who rehearsed with us in the rehearse room.
okay.
And the moment came, and we all thought, is it gonna come? And he was like, no, not this time.
Okay, okay.
No, he's really got to warm up for
Mm-mm.
that. That's
That's insane sound.
yeah. I mean, you won't. I mean, Ian Gillan stopped doing Child in Time very early on.
Mm,
After even back in the 70s already, they didn't play that song live anymore because he had to do the end screams and.
okay. There's also only one song from Actual Fantasy, which is the second album of Ayreon and released actually 30 years ago now, in 2026. What do you think of this album 30 years after its release, and why only including just one song in the set list?
Well, I said Transitus is the least favorite, but Actual Fancy, together with Actual Fancy, those are the black sheep of the Ayreon family.
But it's so good again.
People don't really like it. Again, it's not a typical Ayreon because it doesn't have loads and loads of singers. It doesn't
Mm,
have a continuing story. It doesn't have much interplay between the singers, not much dialogue singing, and it has, it's a bit electronic, and
mhm.
it's just different.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be. I wanted to be difficult. People liked the Final Experiment as a rock opera. So I thought, let's second album, let's do something different. Let's.
Mhm.
Uh, and then of course I with Electric Castle I thought, okay, let's do a rock opera. Let's try to get the people back, because really Actual Fancy didn't sell well, wasn't accepted very well.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I didn't want to completely skip Actual Fantasy. So of course we did Abbey of Sin already in the Arion universe. I don't know, do we do computerized? I think
Computerized,
that,
yes, in universe.
yeah, that would have been my choice to do computerized.
Mhm.
But yeah, you gotta choose. You
Yeah.
have you can fill like 2 hours of songs, and then my incredibly long speech. Every time is, I will only do 5 minutes, but then you're standing there, and I couldn't do it just 5 minutes and say something quickly.
Mm.
And also, I don't think of myself. That's I always say that to everyone as a great singer. Especially if you have to perform with guys like Dino, or I really thought I have to give them a bit more than just my two little songs, where I try to sing. And I think that's why I have this long speech.
I like that you included Days of the Nights because it was actually the only song in the whole set that I didn't know.
Oh, cool.
And I really liked your version with Marcella and Irene. So thank you again for including this one.
Okay. Yeah, well, I thought we were going to re-release my first solo album. I thought there has to be a link to the show, so we got a song of that one. And of course, Days of the Nights, because I was just knighted, you know.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. I thought that would be funny, to do Days of the Nights, and I hope people. Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't know it, so I hope it went down well.
Mhm. We were talking earlier about the staging area and the screens, and what I liked about this one is that you didn't have the backing vocals too far. You talked about Yost being too far also during the Beneath the Waves shows, and
Yeah,
this time it was really like a band dynamic because
totally.
Irene and Marcella were there, right there. They just have to step in to perform
Hmm.
their songs. I really liked it, and about the screen, actually, apparently there were some use of AI. There was a lot of talk among the Aryan community about the use of that, whether it was a good thing or not, according to them.
I know, I know.
So, how did you decide together with your team that you would have AI generated designs, and also what was really the proportion of AI in the show?
Well, we had two people do the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
One was my partner, Laurie, and other one was Dave, who did all the visuals for, I think, Electric Castle, or did he do 012? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's always involved in visuals. So he did about half, and he did not use AI. He tried to use AI, but it didn't really work. And you can just say, I give them a prompt, do
Mm-hmm.
this, do this, and use it, and it will be terrible. It will be crappy.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave it all up to AI, it's terrible. You really, really, really have to work to make it look good. And
Mm-hmm.
and Laurie spent a year on those visuals,
Yeah.
just to try them as good as possible. I mean, you have options, of course, to use stock material. That's what most people do. If you want people on Mars, you're not gonna have you can't film it yourself. So you need stock material, and with AI, you can really create your own vision. And I think if it's done well, which I think it was
Yes.
with
Mm.
what Laurie did, I think it was amazing. Like House on Mars, I was so happy that we started with that song because it looked so cool, this Martian landscape.
Yes.
If it's done well, I have no problems with it. We were very precise, we were very precise, and we just all loved it, and we never expected people to react so aggressively. And
Mm.
but it's just a few people,
Yes.
because almost everyone I speak, 99% people I talk to are like, oh, those visuals are amazing, amazing, really, and I don't know if they just say that to me because they don't want to say it's crap, but I think it's just a few people, but they are the loudest, and
Yes.
they scream the loudest. Yeah, it's a shame, really. It's especially for Laurie. You can understand.
Yes.
She worked on that for a year. We were all so proud of it, and we were all so happy with it. And then you get that.
For me, it was really, once again, really immersive and really nice. And I like the Iron robot thingy
Yeah,
also.
yeah, 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 yeah. She is such a great actress, and her English pronunciation is so amazing. She was like, "Shall I do American or shall I do English?" No, no, your British is very cool, and
Because naturally she speaks British, I think, British accent.
she can do it both.
Ah, okay, okay.
She can do it both. It's scary. She's such an amazing actress, an amazing singer, of course. And also her, of course, she did it in this suit with all the things, and so it's really her. It's not AI, of course.
Hmm.
It's really her moving, and it's really her talking, and yeah, I thought she was perfect for that.
You kind of created an interaction with the audience, so
Yeah, yeah. And it was her idea to involve the audience. She said, "Do you like it so far?" And I said, "Should you really do that? Because what happens if no one reacts? If
mm.
there's this avatar there?" She said, "Really, believe me, they will react."
Yeah, yeah. It warms up the show because she says something like, "Are you ready for this journey?" Or
Yeah, right, right. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just great. So earlier you were talking about the speech you make at the end of every show. So you've been doing this for every bunch of shows since 2017. How do you? Because I know you have anxiety performing on stage, but now you're maybe getting a bit used to it. So do you have no? Do you have
No.
methods to deal with it? Maybe to did it get easier or
No, not at all. It gets harder. It's very,
really?
very strange. It gets harder and harder. Maybe because I'm getting older, I don't know. But it gets harder and harder. And this speech, I was incredibly, incredibly nervous. I didn't prepare it that well because I tried to make it a bit spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
But no, no, it does not get easier. And speaking in public is really my worst fear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what helps is, you go on stage and everyone is smiling and it's one warm blanket, it's a whole lot of love. That really helps, that makes it easier. But yeah, you have to imagine I'm such a recluse, I'm
Mm.
always at home, I'm always in my studio. I'm not a social person at all. So to suddenly be standing there in front of thousands of people talking, and I think the first speech I gave, I at some point I was empty. It
Mm.
was like empty. I stood there and I did not know what to say, and people were quiet and thinking what happened here. And oh, that moment, I still remember it.
Oh, okay.
So no, no, it does not get easier, and I'm not sure if I will ever do a speech again because I was nervous for weeks, and I couldn't sleep,
Mm.
and even afterwards, afterwards
Yes.
I thought, okay, it's done now. I can let it go, and everything is okay. No, no, I had that sick feeling, and it just kept coming, and so
Mm. Okay.
well, when I saw it back on the Blu-ray, I was actually happy with it. So it's not like, oh, I was terrible, and it's I think it's all genuine. That's the
Mm.
most important for me. I don't want it to be too rehearsed or
Yes.
too I wanted to be react to what people do, and so that was okay. I did well. I'm proud of myself
Mm.
that I did it, but it was hard.
I think people are really grateful because, especially because they know that you're not fond of doing that. So, again, thank you for for
You're
doing this
welcome.
because we know
Yeah.
it's not easy, and I wouldn't see myself doing that either. So,
Oh no. Oh. It's the first time I did it, Universe, I didn't plan such a long speech. And it actually went well. It
mm-hmm.
was weird. I went on stage and it went well, and
Ah,
I
okay,
still remember that. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I wasn't so nervous yet, and yeah.
okay.
But
To finish on the 30th anniversary shows, what was the absolute highlight or maybe highlights for you?
whoa, that's a hard one. Not my speech. No, that's so hard to say because I don't want to favor any singers.
mm-hmm.
I really, really, really liked all the singers. They were all, everyone who came off stage, I was like, yeah, high five. I was proud of all of them. So if I would say now, hey, I really like this song with this singer, then, I would, s- yeah, no, it would not be nice to the other singers. So
Mm-hmm.
highlights. I think if I look back at the Blu-ray,
Mm-hmm.
I think Everybody Dies was the highlight once again.
Oh, really?
Really, really. If you see it on stage, the people on stage are crazy, and it's so energetic, and the audience is crazy. And I still remember I had my speech after that. I still remember came on the stage like, whoa, what happened just here? What
Ah.
happened here? I think Everybody Dies was the best song of that show, at least.
I also like the back and forth between Woodstick and Tommy. For me, it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
amazing because they were like equals. I don't know how to explain,
I
but
know, I know, yeah. And but they didn't do that in the rehearsal. They were more on their own. And then I
ah,
went to them and no, no, you gotta react, to each other. There has to be interaction between the two of you.
yes,
And they were like, okay, cool, yeah, sure.
because they seem very social, both of them. So it would be a shame if they didn't interact with each other. So
True, true, yeah. And of course, Woodstick, I mean, holy shit, I had to call him a few weeks before the
mm,
shows. Like, listen, Edward, of course, Edward couldn't be there.
yes,
So it was hard for Woodstick. Um, I mean, he loved doing it and
mm,
immediately said yes. He didn't have to think about that, but it is hard.
yes,
Someone can't be there. Someone's really ill lying in his bed. Dying basically,
mm-hmm.
and there you have to, play his part, and he did so well. His whole charisma and his singing and yeah, I think he was definitely the right choice.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any release date yet?
No, not yet. We're not completely ready yet. I am ready with the mix. The editing is ready of the show, but the behind the scenes is like a huge job.
Ah, really?
We had an English team who filmed everything.
Okay,
New guys, and they were so excited. They filmed everything, so we got like hours and hours and hours and hours of material.
that's good news.
Yeah, and now the poor editor, the main guy, also an English guy, he has to go through all of that, and Laurie's going through all of it too. And yeah, you got to pick, and of course, all the singers were interviewed again, and Joost and me were interviewed, and so editing the show was no problem, really. Within a week, we had it, and it was perfect. Well, I had stuff to complain. I always have stuff to complain, but the behind the scenes is yeah, they're still working on it.
That's great.
There's gonna be an extra disc for it.
Whoa.
We asked the label, can we have please, can we have an extra disc in the package? Because it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit on or you have to make the quality lower, and we don't want to
No,
do
no.
that.
Okay.
Probably it will take a bit longer than
Yeah, it's worth
usual.
it. If it's for the behind the scenes, then
Right,
I agree.
right, right.
I always loved your behind the scenes documentaries on your albums or on the live shows. It's almost my favorite part, which is stupid because I love the music and I love rewatching the shows. But the
Yeah, yeah.
behind the scenes is like icing on the cake for me every time.
Yeah, yeah. I hear a lot of people, they actually watch the behind the scenes first before they watch the show.
Yeah.
Which is cool because then you get to know the singers a little bit, and you
Yes.
you know what's happening backstage and stuff, and then you look at the show with different eyes.
Mm-mm.
So that's a good idea.
Some people are goofier backstage than on stage, so
I know.
this is a surprise sometimes.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I wanted to talk about your solo album now, Songs No One Will Hear, which is my favorite album of the past year, actually. I
Oh,
really, really
whoa.
loved it.
Oh,
And
wow.
although I'm a big fan of, prog long songs from you, what struck me the most with this album was that it was really catchy and straight to the point. And I loved also how diverse the songs were.
Hmm. Hmm.
And was it intentional to keep the structures maybe shorter than usual and to have like catchier songs maybe? Or was it something you just did without thinking?
I think all my solo albums are shorter and catchier. I think, yeah, with solo albums I like to do that
Hmm.
because a lot of my favorite albums, like Beatles and Led Zeppelin, and are also short songs
Hmm.
and who get to the point fast. So yeah, for my solo albums, I like doing that. I like doing something different with Ayreon. With Ayreon, I can have this long build up. The day the world breaks down, first have this rain and wind, and then the intro, and then you get this, and then and with solo album. Yeah, songs like Just Not Today or Goddamn Conspiracy, it gets to the point faster. Um, Having said that, my previous solo album, The New Reel, of course, had the 12-minute track,
Hmm.
Lost in the New Reel. So I felt there has to be one long track on this one. But Lost in the New Reel actually is my favorite song that I ever made.
Ah, really?
Really, that's 100% me, that song. So it was scary for me to make another long epic,
Hmm.
because I was afraid I couldn't make it as good as Lost in the New Reel. So I thought, well, if I can't make it good, I just make it longer. So I made it 14 minutes. So
Mm. Yeah.
at least there's one uh, epic track on it. But again, even in my epic long tracks, I get to the point fast. It's not these long instrumental parts or long intros and stuff like that. It's getting from one part to another part to another
Mm.
part.
Yes.
You know,
The dynamic is a little bit different
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
Arion, yes.
totally, yeah, yeah.
But you're talking about the end of the world and the apocalypse, so we had to have like a long and epic, dramatic, and
It has to be there.
bombastic song.
It has to be there. Yeah.
And I liked that you put the no narration version. Although I love Mike, it's nice also to have only the music
Oh,
sometimes.
good,
So
good.
it's
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
that we have both, because the
yeah.
narration I think is essential to the story because it's a story.
Right, right.
We, we got to have like a narration, and the fact that we have an influencer performed by Mike is
Yeah,
really nice because that's what influencers would do. They would comment on the end of the world.
totally, totally. Yeah. Well, the thing was, with Transitus, I got so many complaints that there was too much narration, and each time they played the song, they had to listen to the narration, and maybe it had too much narration, but it was my favorite actor,
Mm,
the Doctor Who that I grew up
yeah.
with. So maybe I overused him, because I'm a personal fan. So I thought this time let's give fans a choice,
Mm-mm.
if they want with or without. But of course, I much prefer the one with, because Mike did such an amazing job, and I specifically asked him, please use your humor because he has a
Mm-hmm.
lot of humor, but also please be serious here and there, which was harder for him probably to do. I mean, of course, the song with Floor, "We'll Never Know," had to be serious. You're not gonna make jokes there, and in the end, of course, it's more serious. Although, of course, we get the Monty Python quote, "Always look on the, on the bright side of life." It had to
Mm-mm.
be in there. But no, Mike wrote his own narration. It was funny. I asked him, "Can you do your own narration and write it?" And he wrote like 1.5 to 2 minutes per song.
Oh, okay.
It was like way and way too much. And I was like, oh, sorry, Mike, this is gonna hurt, but you have to really cut it down to 20 seconds, 15 or 20 seconds, not longer, really. And I think that was the hardest part for him,
Hmm.
to kill his darlings.
And he did add Everybody Dies Easter egg also, which I liked because he says you're all the same when extinction looms,
Right, right, yeah, yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
was nice. I was like, oh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you, because that was my idea.
Ah, great. I love the links between the albums.
I like that too. I like that too. Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, good job on that.
cool.
So, you already announced you were working on a new Aryan album.
Hmm.
So, where are you at for the moment?
Well, of course, the last months I've been working on the live stuff because it had to be edited, where I'm very involved. Of course, I had to make a stereo mix of it, which took quite a long time. And I had to do a 5.1 mix, with all the speakers, surround mix. So I've been working on that basically till a few weeks ago. In the meantime, I'm always, every morning I lie here on the floor with my foot in a hot water. Really, every morning the same.
Yeah.
And I grab the guitar and then I get my ideas because there's no pressure,
Yes.
I'm just lying there and grab the guitar and then, oh yeah, my ideas come. And I put them all on my phone. So a few weeks ago, I had all my ideas. It's scary to just have them on the phone. I could lose them. I'm not
Sure.
sure if they're in the cloud or something.
Yeah.
So I put them in my Pro Tools computer, so in my studio. And it's a lot. It's like 300 little snippets, and I've been going through them. And sometimes I don't even know what I mean. I hear me humming a bit, or I hear a few notes, and it's like, what am I going to do with this? When I recorded it, I knew what I wanted to do with it, but now I don't.
Is it always like that?
Not as much as now. I remember after the Simone album, I was empty. I had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I had nothing, and then I thought, let's do a solo album. Let's choose something just for me and just go in the studio and work very spontaneous.
Mm-mm.
But this time, no, I had lots and lots of ideas. And of course, there are ideas where I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I know what I meant with this. And there are at least 20 or 30 of those ideas where I'm like, okay, this is a song. This is just not just an idea. This could turn into a song. So yeah, I actually just put them in a red folder because then my next step is I have to write it out, and I have to give it a name, because it's just an idea, and like I can't see without glasses.
It looks like mathematics.
I know. And the idea is probably like it always sounds a bit like another song. Like this is called Led Zeppelin. This is called Age of Shadows. This is called The Sun Goes Down. Thin Lizzy song.
Ah, okay.
And then yeah, I write them all down. So it's a lot of papers here.
This is really precious. You have to put it in the locker or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I gave it a red map.
Yes.
Red folder. So.
Red is important.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's why I was wearing my red suit on the show.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and then I at least I have it written down, and if I look at it, sometimes I know what I meant. And then in the evening, I grab my guitar and I go through all of them, and then I change stuff. So it's very promising this time, and I
Yeah.
don't always say that. Often I'm like, oh, I don't have enough or I don't have anything, but now I have plenty. So
Do you sometimes have ideas in the middle of the night?
yeah, but they're crap.
Always.
Yeah, always.
Okay.
Always. I have my phone close to me and then I wake up and I'm like, and then I hear it the next morning. I think like, no, they're always shit. No, I always tell people, I'm not a talent or I'm not a genius, because with me it doesn't come easy. I have to have like at least 15 to 20 ideas to get one good idea, and then I have to work on it and change it and change it and change it for weeks until it's good. So my original ideas are never never very good. So no, and especially in the night, I've never had like, oh yeah, that was a great idea.
Okay.
No.
And what about the next live shows? Do you have ideas already? Maybe it's a bit early, but is there anything in the works?
No, I haven't thought about it yet. Just thinking like it's gonna be hard. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Maybe do an album or because then people can't complain about the set list if you do a whole album.
Sure.
Yeah. You know what you came for. No, but there's no rush with that. I really want to totally concentrate on a new Ariel now, which doesn't have to be ready this year, so I can really take my time.
Yeah.
And like I've said, I'm planning on moving, and as you may know, it takes a lot of time. With
Sure.
moving, it's it's always a big thing. No concrete ideas about that. No.
Okay. So I noticed that you were quite active on social networks, especially Facebook, where there's this group, the Aryan community.
Hmm.
Hello to those listening, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they will be listening, I'm sure.
Cool.
So you answer the comments yourself. How much do you take into account what is said by people in the sense that maybe they give you directions or ideas
Yeah.
about things? Is it important to you?
Yeah, very important. Yeah. I'm not one of those musicians who says like I do what I want and I don't give a shit what the fans say.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important. Every comment is important, and of course the negative comments they hit you the hardest, and they're suddenly way more important than the good
Mm-hmm.
comments. Which is sad, really. Same on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you have 500 comments, and usually the fans are so nice, they vote them down. So at the end you have like five really negative ones,
Mm.
and they are the ones I remember.
Yeah.
It's shitty, but no, I really feel, if I put something on Facebook and there are a few hundred comments, everyone took their time to comment on that, so
Mm.
I cannot ignore this. I can't do that, so I go through all of them. And sometimes I have no idea what to, if someone says like, it's amazing, I don't know what to answer, but thanks,
Mm-hmm.
so then I just put a like. But I always try to be as personal as possible, and try to at least read all the comments and answer as much as them as I can. And it seems like a lot of work, but maybe it's half an hour a day.
Okay.
That's it, and I get a lot from that. I learn from that, because I don't tour anymore, so I don't
Mm.
meet the fans, and this way I stay in contact, and I know what fans are thinking, and that's yeah, totally important. Yeah.
Good, good. That was my last question. Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me. It's been the sixth time actually we've been talking
Whoa,
together.
whoa.
So,
Oh, cool. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
and good luck with the moving.
Thank you very much.
And we are looking forward to everything you're going to be releasing.
Great, great.
And say hi to Laurie and Fjorf.
I definitely will. Yeah. Oh, Fjorv is not here.
Ah.
No, he's not. He usually is here, but
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, you can support us in a few ways. You can buy us a coffee on our Buy Me a Coffee page. Every contribution helps. You can share this episode, leave a like, or drop a comment on Facebook, Instagram, or your favorite platform. All the links are in the description. This was our very first episode entirely in English, and we were truly honored to welcome the legendary Arjen Lucassen as our first guest. We hope both our French-speaking listeners and our new English-speaking friends enjoy this special episode. Stay tuned, more English episodes may be on the way. Don't miss the upcoming Ayreon Live Blu-ray, An Amazing Flight Through Time, out on May 22nd, and make sure to follow Ayreon online. Thank you for your support and feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode of Vintera Podcast. Until then, take care and keep rocking. Bye bye.